8 years ago, we developed and launched the best bed sheets ever. Since then, you've all enjoyed the best sleep of your life. And to thank you all for your support, we're bringing you our bed sheets for the lowest price in MyPillow history. Get our seasonal flannel sheets for 50% off. They're nearly sold out, so get yours today before they're gone. Check out our new Percale line. Queen size only $39.98. King size only $49.98. And our famous Giza Dream bed sheets, queen size originally $139.96. Wait on it. Now only $59.98. King's just $10 more. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get huge discounts on all MyPillow bed sheets. And for a limited time, when you order $75 or more, your entire order ships absolutely free. We have very low quantities at these prices, so order now.
Around here we live for Friday for several reasons, but maybe the biggest and best is we get to visit with Gene Valentino, Michael.
Yeah. Good morning, Gene Valentino. The studio audience is just over here. They're right over here, and they are just going crazy this morning. Thank you for joining us. Hey, let's start this off with one thing. It is Daniel Boone Day today. Back in 1769, frontiersman Daniel Boone begins to explore present-day Kentucky. How about that?
It's Daniel Boone Day. It's also National Donut Day.
National Donut Day. Okay.
Yeah, National Donut Day came and originally started with the Salvation Army offering donuts to the veterans in need. It was sort of one of their do-good things they brought into them to help them along their journey. But that's what's going on. Hey, before I forget, congratulations to Fox News. Fox News takes a rap for being conservative and on the right-leaning side of things, but they were the only network that covered from stem to stern D-Day in Normandy the last few days, and they did comprehensive reports while they were over there and sidebar stories with some of the veterans. Something I've just learned, the average World War II veteran is around 101, 102 years of age. These patriots who fought for our nation scratch their head now in the sidebar interviews that Fox had with them. And these guys are very gravely concerned with the status of our nation and where we're going. Very impressive commentary from gentlemen 100 to 103 years of age that are surviving. They're dropping very quickly now, as you might imagine, but there's still thousands of them around that keep telling their story about what this democracy means and the beauty of the democracy they live in and what they want to do in their final days of life to contribute to all of us and to make it better. And bravo to those forces that brought everybody over to Normandy. They took 16 to 20-year-old kids coming out of high school and matched them up with these 100-year-old veterans to learn a little bit about what it really is like to be an American patriot and come out of an era where defending democracy was so important and going after, of all things, Michael, the Nazis in Germany at the time from World War II. And here we are today trying to help out Ukraine only to find out they're laden with Nazi forces of their own fighting against Russia. Longer story for a different day, maybe, but here we are in America today funding a regime in Ukraine that's supported strongly by Nazis in their brigades against Putin in Russia. Quite a different story. And when the word gets out, the fake media has not brought this story to the foreground. You got every nation in NATO lending money to Ukraine, which is now coming due for payment 2 years later. And here we are, America, the only nation that gives the money away, something in excess of $150 billion to Ukraine. Ukraine's using that money. What are they going to do with it? Use it to defend the nation in the citizens that desperately need protection in Ukraine, or are they going to use that cash to pay back the debt service on NATO allies and others that have been lending money to Ukraine? Quite an interesting story for a different day. It needs a deeper dive. But I got something for you. You ready?
Yeah.
The state of Alabama that sits between Florida and Mississippi. Alabama Secretary of State Wes Allen is exposing federal policies that provide voter registration forms to non-citizens, and additionally causing voter registration information to be mailed to deceased individuals. When do you remember hearing that story? Wes Allen is the Alabama's 54th Secretary of State, and he's also Alabama's chief elections official. And his quote, he just came out with it yesterday, quote, "We have received complaints from concerned Alabama voters who received voter registration forms in the mail addressed to deceased relatives at that address. Those voter registration mailings are not coming from his office, but are instead coming from the state agencies at the direction of the federal government due to an overly broad interpretation of the National Voter Registration Act." We've talked about appalling behaviors in the past. The Democrats and this Biden administration are still at it. Deflect your attention onto something else. While Alabama is a conservative state, here they are stuck with a Democrat mandate from Biden pushing illegal, in my opinion, illegal voter registration forms to the citizens, some being deceased, for the upcoming vote in November. I go back to the amendments we need: 1 day, 1 voting, no early voting, proof of who you are when you come into the voting booth. If Florida can do it in 24 hours and have a completely certified election in place by 10, 11 o'clock at night, so can the other 49 states in this nation.
I agree with that 100%. But look, Democrats are much better at the process of gathering votes than Republicans. We've got to get good at this. We've got a lot of catching up to do. And let me tell you something, as much as we see about the elections and how that Donald Trump is ahead in this election, I'm telling you folks, the exact same thing could happen this time that happened last time, because guess what? The Democrats are in charge of counting the votes in some of these places that we really need to pick up votes in. So it's really got to be too big to rig. People really have to get out and vote. It's so important. Anyway.
Yeah, we talked about the tsunami. It's too big to rig. This time I think it's true with what's happened. And I think, Michael, this is one of those cases where we simply need a constitutional amendment that sets the consistent rule in place across all 50 states. I'm not denying the importance of state rights and state authority. It's very important in our Constitution, but let's bring it into balance. We need uniformity nationwide in the way we vote. That's for certain. We're all voting for one president or another in our election process. Yes, we got different governors and state representatives and county commissioners and so forth, and that's fine. That's why we have supervisors of elections at the state and local levels. But we must have a uniform system nationwide. And Joe Biden and the Democrats today, my point is, they're trying to do it in a conservative state of Alabama, and they're getting away with it. We must stop it, no matter how strong we feel about Trump or anyone else for that matter. We must stop. We must make sure the system is protected and pure and consistent nationwide.
I know the Secretary of State for the state of Mississippi. He is a personal friend. I've known him for many, many years, from even back when he represented my hometown area in the state Senate. So I'm going to pose this question to him. And in fact, when we get off the air, I'm going to text him and see what he knows about this. And is this something that could happen in Mississippi? Could this happen in Florida?
Well, it could, but it depends on the electorate and those elected at the state and local levels, right? I mean, it depends on where your alliances are. So this is a time where this is grassroots. This is why we call our podcast, the WMXI broadcasts on the Grassroots Truthcast, for a reason, because all government is started at the grassroots, the church halls, the taverns, the libraries. Every place that's local is grassroots, is how our government began, not the autocratic fascists at the top that are trying to dictate and put mandates on you on how to live your life. That's not democracy. That's not a constitutional republic. Hey, just on a quick note, I was watching Trump yesterday, Donald Trump, and he was talk about humility. Oh, my words. The man says, what am I going to do when I get reelected? Am I going to spend my time being revengeful and go after Joe Biden and Hillary? No, he says, I can't do that. I've got to put this behind me and move on to save this nation. Well, that's it. If there was ever a moment in time when I made up my mind about Donald Trump, putting all his tweets and emotional rants of the past aside, it was the statement he just made. He recognizes that the anger he feels towards these individuals is not as important as the principles of protecting our constitutional republic. That man now gets my vote. Principles before personalities is where this man is coming from. He sold me.
I have one thing to say about that, and that is that I do believe that there are players out here that are breaking the law that should be held accountable for the things that they have done. I'm not saying necessarily to go after Joe Biden. I'm not sure that's a positive thing, and I agree with the president that we've got to stop this, and we have to stop it now. But let me tell you, I don't know if you noticed or not, but on some of the drive-by media broadcasts, they took that totally out of context. Did you see that? I mean, they basically said that Donald Trump is going after revenge. They totally turned it around.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up. The fake media continues to put the message out there that Trump's on some sort of revenge tour. Let me tell you something. We just got finished watching Newsmax and some of the other networks, conservative networks, bring out the fact that the 51 spies who lied are those in and around the intelligence agencies. And this Russian disinformation issue turned out to be true. Biden's laptop was and is real. It appeared last few days in a courtroom on a current Hunter Biden court case. It's real, and the FBI agents said the information on it is real, which means that the CIA, at the hands of James Clapper and John Brennan at the top of the helm, orchestrated a lie to the American people to tell you and me that Trump was pushing a Russian disinformation campaign against Biden, only to find out it was true. All those 51 people not only need to apologize, they need to be indicted. And Bill Barr's not the guy because he acquiesced under the Trump administration. Let's see a new attorney general do that work for Trump and let Trump get on to saving this nation and saving this world.
This is why it's so important that we gain the majority in the United States Senate, because if we don't, and if Democrats get charge of the Senate again, it is going to be impossible to put good people in these positions that can make a difference. You take the CIA, they need to go to the CIA, the FBI, that's the two I can think of, but all of them, including the EPA and all the rest of them, they need to go in there and go about 5 levels deep and get rid of all of that upper echelon of those agencies and replace them with good, honest Americans who will follow the Constitution and the law and don't have an agenda. That's what we need to be doing.
Yeah, absolutely, Michael. And let's add to that the Department of Education. Is there no small coincidence that all the folks out there between 18 and 45 years of age The number one cause of death to people in that age range is fentanyl. And guess what?
That's it.
Okay.
Have a great
Now,
weekend.
goodbye. See you later.
All right, take care. Bye.
Throughout history, the spirit of patriotism has prevailed. The battles may have changed, but the values remain the same. Today, in 2024, we find ourselves at a pivotal moment where the call for unity, freedom, and a better future echoes louder than ever. For more than 10 years, Patriot Mobile has been committed to supporting the values that make our nation great. With affordable plans and reliable nationwide coverage, Patriot Mobile is not just a wireless service. It's a call to action for those who believe in the American dream. Because this year is not just any year, it's the most important year since our nation's founding. Choose a wireless carrier that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.